What is going on, guys? JD from New York here. And this is part 3 of number 106 of the number 1 fucking source right here on YouTube.com for everything WWE. This is Off The Script, the number 1 fucking podcast in your subscription boxes right here on YouTube, man. Thank you guys so much for joining me on Sunday morning. Hope you guys are having a great weekend. We're going to finish up this weekend talking WWE. Roman Reigns, legit injury, pre-existing condition for his nose. We're going to talk about that and what I think about this entire situation. So, Monday Night Raw ended. He went to the hospital. He got surgery. I don't know how long he's going to be out, but we'll discuss it. So that's the top story this week. Also got news on Bryan. I got news on Bryan retiring from the WWE because possibly wanting to go wrestle somewhere else. Got news on that. And I got news on WWE making a mental error when it comes to pay-per-view in the month of May. We're going to get 2 pay-per-views in May, and I can't fucking stand that, bro. I can't stand when shit like that happens. We'll discuss that as well on part 3 of Off The Script this weekend. Before we get into that, guys, Twitter, at JD from NY206. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. Very, very important. If you guys want to keep up to date on the channel, live tweet with me during WWE events. That's the most important place to be, man. Twitter, at JD from NY206. If you guys are not subscribed to the YouTube channel, I don't know what the fuck you're waiting for, bro. YouTube.com/JD from NY206. The number 1 source for WWE news and rumors. ProWrestlingTees.com/Off The Script. Obviously, you guys know this one. Very important. If you guys want to join the movement, join the revolution, get off my TV. $19.99. Beautiful t-shirt. Comfortable. Comes in all shapes and sizes. Ships all over the world, obviously all over in the United States, internationally. It is fucking awesome. So make sure you guys go join the movement, ProWrestlingTees.com/Off The Script, and get your own Get Off My TV t-shirt, the official t-shirt of this podcast. Danger Zone Community Channel, headed by Chris and Michelle Dankops. If you guys want to go check that out, community channel for wrestling content creators. I did a video over there talking about Shane McMahon and this entire WrestleMania situation with The Undertaker, Hell in a Cell, and more exclusive brand split talk right over there on their community channel. Video will be linked in the description below. Make sure you guys go check that out and support the Danger Zone. And finally, guys, I will be on the Chairshot Reality Podcast, the BS with CSR podcast. Blake and Shane, 2 guys, very awesome, cool, knowledgeable. They know their shit. I will be on there this coming week doing a segment called JD's Fucking Goon of the Month. And those guys are available on our AudioBoom and iTunes. Make sure you guys go check them out. They are part of Team CSR with Labar, Eisenberg, and Ghoulish. And they're all over Twitter. All their information will be linked in the description below. So make sure you guys go support them and check those guys out as well. And finally, you guys know Juicy Steen. Been promoting Juicy Steen on the channel here for a couple of weeks now. Make sure you go check him out as well. He's also part of Team Labar and Team CSR. So he's looking to get 2,000 subs. We're trying to help him get there. If you guys don't know who he is, I'll leave you his information down in the description as well. Now, let's get into the news, guys. I don't have a lot today for Sunday, but we do have this story about Roman Reigns' injury and surgery for a pre-existing nose condition that may be legitimate. As noted earlier this week, WWE posted a story on their website claiming that Roman Reigns had to get surgery done on his nose after Triple H attacked him at the end of Monday Night Raw. Cell phone footage popped up online that showed Byron Saxton handing something, presumably a blood capsule, to Roman Reigns, and that's when he started bleeding. So many people, everybody on the internet, assumed that the surgery was something that WWE made up, including me. As it turns out, there might have been something that pre-existed that caused Roman Reigns to get surgery on his nose this week. He was not injured in the angle, so it was likely something that he needed to take care of, and this week was convenient for him. The word going around backstage at SmackDown was that there was a pre-existing condition that needed to be taken care of and the surgery was legitimate. There were rumors going around backstage before the show that Reigns was injured. Friends of Reigns denied those rumors, but it does seem like there was some sort of pre-existing injury, and the angle with Triple H was their way to cover up for him needing surgery. Now, this is all fine and dandy, okay? If he needed surgery, it obviously came at a good time because they did this angle perfectly to the point where they can have Roman Reigns sell his injury and sell this angle. The only thing I do not like, and I'm hearing rumors about it, and I hope it's not true, you know, Monday Night Raw, I don't mind if Roman Reigns misses this upcoming edition of Monday Night Raw because they are in Nashville or they're in Memphis, one of those cities, okay? A city that really doesn't give a shit about WWE, and usually a city that you go into Monday Night Raw and the crowd is very lame and they're not exciting. It's not going to be like a Detroit crowd when Shane McMahon came out there. You know, those crowds are a little bit more family friendly and they're not going to pop and they're not going to generate excitement like a Chicago crowd will, or a Brooklyn crowd, or a Philadelphia crowd, or a Miami crowd. It's not going to be like that. So I'm okay with him missing this week to sell the injury and then come back. Because the following week, okay, on Monday Night Raw, WWE is rolling on into Chicago. And the one thing that I heard is that WWE might keep Roman Reigns out of some of these big cities and have him not appear on Monday Night Raw to sell this injury. That's what I heard, but I doubt that is the case. But if that is the case, WWE would be admitting failure. WWE would be protecting Roman Reigns from undoubted failure, okay? Because those cities, you know, look at Monday Night Raw going into WrestleMania. Brooklyn, Philadelphia, Chicago. And those are the three biggest wrestling cities in the United States that are going to let you know how they feel. And Roman Reigns, the way he is being received on the road to WrestleMania, with pretty much the roles being flip-flopped, you got Triple H, the face, and Roman Reigns getting heel reaction. If he's going to go into Chicago, if he's going to go into New York, if he's going to go into Philadelphia, Roman Reigns is going to get booed. And I don't want WWE to protect him anymore. Roman Reigns needs to embrace the hate. Roman Reigns needs to embrace this hate, turn heel, and say, you caused all this to happen. You know, do something that is so out of the box. Do something that is so dastardly. Do something that is so villain and heel-like that he's going to generate that organic heel reaction. Seriously, that's what needs to be done. WWE should not have to vouch for Roman Reigns anymore. WWE needs to man up. They need to fucking say, you know what? This experiment has been going on for more than 2.5 years now. This is a failure. Roman Reigns going into WrestleMania, winning the title as a face, will be a failure. The crowd at Arlington in AT&T Stadium is going to piss all over the main event. Believe me, this is doomsday coming for WWE. Do not protect him anymore. I doubt this rumor is true, but I wouldn't put it past WWE to protect Roman Reigns from getting booed out of the building in these cities, to maintain him coming back after a severe beating from Triple H. Have him embrace the hate. Do not protect him anymore. Have him be a man and go into these cities and accept his fate. He is not the face of the WWE. WWE will realize sooner rather than later that they're fucking wrong about Roman Reigns and that we as the fans do not accept him as our hero. We will never accept him as our hero. And this is why I stressed on Monday Night Raw review. Never. Never. It's not his time. It's not his time to be WWE Champion. It's not his time to be WWE Champion as a face. And it's not his time to be the face of the company. Vince McMahon is so obsessed with making this man the WWE Champion and having him take the top spot in WWE that he's not listening to the fans. The fans don't want him. That's clear as day. And the fans in Chicago, the fans in Philadelphia, and the fans in New York are going to let you know exactly how they feel. Do not hold this man back anymore. Embrace the fucking hate. Join the dark side. I know Roman Reigns has it in him. I know. It may be a gamble, you know. WWE might have to do a double turn at WrestleMania, but this is the fans forcing the WWE's hand, you know. WWE needs to listen to the audience. There's no way around this. There is absolutely no way around this main event. The main event with Roman Reigns and Triple H will be pissed and shit all over. All on. Unless Roman Reigns turns heel. Done. That's all I gotta say about that. I just don't want this situation and this surgery to be one of those instances where they protect him and they don't have him roll into these big cities. I want to see the reaction these cities give. I want to see the reaction that Roman Reigns gets in Chicago on the following edition of Monday Night Raw. Not this week, but the following week. I want to see exactly what's going on. Because you know Chicago, on the road to WrestleMania, is going to let you know exactly how they feel about what WWE has planned for us at WrestleMania. WWE planning Extreme Rules and Payback in May. 2 pay-per-views in the month of May. I don't like it. For the last few years, the WWE pay-per-view that follows WrestleMania in April or May is Extreme Rules. It allows for feuds and performers to go extreme for the night and provide the final note for their feuds or ignite new open matches with intense matches. There have been some scheduling conflicts, though, and it looks like WWE will be featuring 2 pay-per-views in May after WrestleMania. According to multiple sources, WWE Extreme Rules was originally planned for April 24th, and WWE Payback was planned on May 22nd. Now, both events have swapped places and will be both featured in May, with Payback being the first pay-per-view after WrestleMania 32. Extreme Rules has been rescheduled for May 22nd and will take place at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey, which was originally planned for Payback. WWE.com has confirmed this change. It was recently rumored that WWE was considering potentially cutting down the pay-per-views during the year, but having 2 in 1 month is going to create an empty April. The entire month of March will be building up for WrestleMania on April 3rd, and then there won't be another pay-per-view until May 1st. We can probably expect a WWE live event on the network of some kind to give the WWE Universe and WWE programming something to build towards right after WrestleMania. Well, being not the way that they put that, you know, we're not going to have an entire pay-per-view for the month of April, you know. So, I mean, it might not look bad. It'll give the WWE to build feuds coming out of WrestleMania. But I was never one for 2 pay-per-views 3 weeks apart, man. WWE in the past that did that, and most of the time it was a throwaway pay-per-view. WWE did nothing but rematch after rematch after rematch, and all those pay-per-views that followed consecutively 3 weeks after one another were nothing but the same matches that we seen in the previous pay-per-view. I don't want it, but hopefully WWE can give us something exciting going into Extreme Rules and following WrestleMania, being that there's nothing in the entire month of April. So we're coming out of Fastlane. We're not getting a pay-per-view in March, okay? WrestleMania is April 3rd. We got an entire month of WrestleMania build. WWE should have this planned, and they should know what they're doing going into WrestleMania. And then we get to WrestleMania on April 3rd. Monday Night Raw, April 4th. That's a fresh beginning. It's a new season for WWE. And we're going to go through the entire month of April with no pay-per-views. So, you know, there's going to be a lull there, and then the pay-per-views are going to hit us right back to back. You know, we're going to have one May 1st and then one May 22nd, according to the reports. So, I don't know how you look at it. It could work out, and then it could be, you know, the same rehash bullshit that we're used to seeing. So, I'm going to wait and hold my opinion on it, because I like that there's no pay-per-view in March. I like that there's no pay-per-view in April besides WrestleMania. Maybe throwing a WWE live event on the network in there to kind of break it up. We'll see what happens. But WWE right now planning Extreme Rules and Payback. But I'm pretty sure once we get to Extreme Rules and then go right into Payback, it's going to be rematches that we've seen previously at the last pay-per-view. So, I mean, how can WWE build storylines? And they might just take existing storylines and just place them right back on Payback with stipulations. I don't know. I don't know, man. Whatever the case may be, we'll see what WWE does and how they come out of it, being that there is a lot of time with no pay-per-views, and then, you know, right back to back, we're going to get hit with 2 pay-per-views. So we'll see what happens. Did WWE think about inducting Daniel Bryan into the Hall of Fame this year? So far, WWE is going to induct The Godfather and Sting into the Hall of Fame this year. However, more former WWE superstars are going to join them the night before WrestleMania 32 in Dallas to join Wrestling Immortality. Many names are being thrown around and debated about within WWE right now, but there is one very recent name being discussed that would be of interest to the WWE Universe. And according to yesterday's edition of the Wrestling Observer Live, there is some debate within WWE that Daniel Bryan could be inducted into the Hall of Fame this year along with The Godfather and Sting. WWE has actively been trying to get the former leader of the Yes Movement to be a part of the company in a non-wrestling role for WrestleMania and beyond. A WWE Hall of Fame induction would be a great moment for Daniel Bryan and the WWE Universe while his retirement is still fresh in our minds. Immediately after his retirement speech, the debate began about whether Daniel Bryan was worthy of a WWE Hall of Fame induction. Of course he is. The response to that question has been an overwhelming yes, but WWE may be hesitant to do it as early as this year's WrestleMania. There is some belief this year that Sting is already a huge name being inducted, and WWE doesn't want anyone to be overshadowed, especially a top draw like Sting, who could be overshadowed by the freshness of Bryan's retirement and injury. On paper, that's understandable, and it may be the better idea to induct Bryan next year or a few years from now. Either way, the debate is over, and Daniel Bryan will be a Hall of Famer someday. I'm going to null and void this one right now. Daniel Bryan will not be inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. Daniel Bryan, without question, is a future WWE Hall of Famer. You got Sting and The Godfather, and among other names, ready to be inducted in the next 4 weeks. Sting is a big enough name that you don't need anybody else that's on the same level as him right now, especially with Daniel Bryan and the retirement that we just seen from Daniel Bryan. One of the best speeches for a WWE wrestler who stepped down due to retirement, okay? Sting is going to be number one this year. WWE obviously wants to induct Daniel Bryan, but something like this needs to, be placed on hold. WWE could do it next year. WWE can hold off and wait till WrestleMania is back on the West Coast again, closer to Seattle, maybe on the West Coast in California somewhere. That's where you could probably induct Daniel Bryan. You don't want to do it too soon, because it really doesn't give any legitimacy to the Hall of Fame if someone like Daniel Bryan retires and you immediately want to induct him into the Hall of Fame. I know WWE wants to capitalize on it right now, but you already have Sting. Let the man enjoy his retirement. Let him clear his mind and get the wrestling out of his head, being that he just stepped down from WWE. He's no longer going to be there. And then spring it on him. Wait a couple of years. Wait till WrestleMania comes back to the West Coast or closer to his home in Seattle, and induct Bryan then. You don't need to do it right away. I know they did it with Edge. I know they did it with Eddie Guerrero. Daniel Bryan is a different beast. You don't need to do it. Everybody was very, very emotional about his retirement this year. Let him fucking ride off into the sunset. Let him relax. Let him live his life. Maybe he wants to have a kid. Brie Bella's on his way to retirement. They're most certainly going to start a family once all that is said and done. Let him get his life situated. Let him live his life. No more WWE. WWE does not need to induct Daniel Bryan into the Hall of Fame this year. Sting is a big enough name, and you don't want to, like the report said, overshadow someone like Sting with the freshness of Daniel Bryan's retirement, because even to this very day, it's been a couple of weeks since it happened, and people are still talking about it. Bryan will be inducted, but WWE would be better off waiting several years for this to happen, being that they have another big name lined up to headline another WrestleMania Hall of Fame. And finally, guys, Daniel Bryan retired from the WWE, but did he retire from the WWE to get out of his contract and continue wrestling? This is an interesting story from Bryan Alvarez of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, and Dave Meltzer as well reported this. 2 weeks ago, Daniel Bryan gave one of the most tearful retirement speeches you'll ever see in this business. A part of what made the speech so emotional and tragic is the amount Bryan had left in the tank and the loss of potential he still holds. However, there is still a lot of speculation, and there is still a lot of speculation about Daniel Bryan potentially wrestling again for another promotion. The latest rumor is claiming that Bryan could have used his retirement as the only way to get out of his contract with the company. The belief is that Daniel Bryan's plans were to officially retire and get released from his deal because he has no interest in being involved with WWE if he cannot wrestle for them. However, there is equal speculation that Bryan's retirement was completely genuine. And true, a true end to the great career that he had in WWE. Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter has shot down this entire theory and said the following: if you think Bryan outsmarted Vince by retiring to end the freeze on his contract, well, I can tell you for sure you're wrong on that one. Retirement had no effect on the terms of his deal. Now, what I think about this, I'm going to take Dave Meltzer's side on this. I don't think Daniel Bryan, especially being that he went on SportsCenter and revealed the testing that he got done and the diagnosis that he got done on his brain and his head and his history of concussions, I don't think Daniel Bryan is going to get back into a ring anytime soon. I think legitimately Daniel Bryan, after the results that he got, whether it's true or not, I mean, I'm obviously going to take his side. There's no reason for Daniel Bryan to, lie to us. There's no reason for Daniel Bryan to hold back information. He retired from WWE. We all know he wanted to come back. But like I said, when all this went down, I'm not really a part of those conspiracy theories that WWE held him off because they didn't want to ruin plans for Roman Reigns. Obviously, that I'm not shocked if WWE would go that route because that's just what WWE has done, and they've done it in the past. So I'm not really on that train as WWE, held Daniel Bryan out and let him sit home because they didn't want him to ruin plans for Roman Reigns on WrestleMania. I don't think WWE would have done that. They certainly could have used Daniel Bryan on the road to WrestleMania. But there is still a part of me, a small part of me, that thinks Daniel Bryan will wrestle again someday. Not for the WWE, but for someone else. Ring of Honor, New Japan. I don't know. This is really a toss-up. It's either you think he's going to do it or you don't think he's going to do it. But Dave Meltzer tends to think that this is wrong and that the retirement had no effect on the terms of his deal. I mean, this is a sticky situation. My immediate thought was that Bryan retired simply to get out of his contract. But after that ESPN special with Jonathan Coachman and the interview that he did on there and the diagnostics that he was talking about and the analysis on his head and his brain and his concussions, Daniel Bryan said that what he's seen with those tests, it legit scared the shit out of him. And you don't want to risk your fucking life. Honestly, you don't want to risk your life. The most important thing to Daniel Bryan right now is he's going to be successful in whatever he does. Daniel Bryan is a household name at this point that whatever he does, his name is going to bring mainstream attention. Daniel Bryan is going to make money whatever he does. He's probably going to be an ambassador for WWE. Merchandise sales, this and that. Legends deal with the WWE. Daniel Bryan's going to be fine. The main thing here is that Daniel Bryan retired, like the report said, with so much left in the fucking tank. Daniel Bryan had to retire and was forced to step down due to injury in the prime of his career. We don't know what Daniel Bryan could have done. He broke through the glass ceiling and shattered that motherfucker. And he could have went well above and beyond that. And we know that for a fact. The fact that he had to retire with so much left to give the WWE. More WWE championships, more this and more that. Fucking 5-star classics. Shit that we will remember till we fucking ourselves are in the grave. That's what angers me. That's what makes me sad. That Daniel Bryan is not going to be able to give to us like he wants because of this injury. So this is a toss-up, really. I mean, I could see it. I could see that Daniel Bryan was thinking to get out of his contract by retiring and then go wrestle somewhere else and give us a few more matches in a Ring of Honor or a New Japan. But honestly, I think, Daniel Bryan is legit scared after the testing that he got done, this new testing that he gone through for his concussion and his history of concussion. And the most important thing to Daniel Bryan right now is starting a family with Brie. She's stepping down from WWE. She's retiring. They're going to start a family, kids, family life. Daniel Bryan's going to be fine. He's going to be successful in whatever he does. And that should be the most important thing to both him and Brie Bella. So that's what I got to say about Daniel Bryan. That's the news on Sunday. Let me know what you guys are thinking about all the news this weekend and on part 3 of Off the Script. I will be back, as always. Going to be a big edition of Monday Night Raw, guys. Undertaker, confirmed. Shane McMahon, confirmed for Monday Night Raw. You do not want to miss it. I will be back right here live after the show goes off the air. Doing my review. It'll be up sometime after Monday Night Raw goes off the air. Do not miss it. If you guys want to check the description out, everything in that description is for you guys. Make sure you go check it out. CSR Podcast, BS with CSR Podcast with Blake and Shane. Danger Zone, Pro Wrestling Tees. Subscribe to the channel. Twitter, you guys name it, it's down there, bro. And if you missed Off the Script this weekend, all you need is down in the description. I even did a WWE 2K16 live stream this week. So make sure you guys go check that out. If you want 3 hours of unadulterated, uncensored fucking WWE content the way you expect it, or the way you should expect it on Monday Night Raw, through my creative genius, you guys go check out that live stream, man. It's absolutely fucking beast. Until then, this is JD. I'll be right back here with Monday Night Raw review. Thank you for watching Off the Script this weekend. I'll be back with Raw review, and then, as always, next week with episode 107 on the road to WrestleMania. On that road to 50,000 subs, guys. Thank you so much for your continued love and support, and I'll be back right here next week with more great WWE content. I'm JD, and I'll talk to you soon.